Do you feel totally strapped by your finances? Do you feel like every month you are just living paycheck to paycheck and barely scraping by? I'm here to give you some tips and tricks on how to get a little more wiggle room in that budget and have some more financial freedom. Stay tuned. Today I'm going to share with you the 3 tips we have for downsizing. So the first tip is downsizing your home. This is, I think, what everybody thinks about when they think about downsizing, is downsizing their space. Now obviously there are cases where this is just not an option, but for those of you who have the option of downsizing, at least downsizing your home, it is the biggest way to quickly start saving money. So right off the bat, you're going to be saving that huge chunk on your mortgage payment. There's a little bit of psychology here as well. If you have a smaller space that you are living in, you're much less likely to go out and purchase a new sofa or a new bed or decorations for your wall. You just don't have the space for all of those things, so you don't feel like you need them. So the second way that you can downsize is to downsize your stuff. We have a lot of furniture. We have typically a family has at least 2 vehicles, if not more. And so you have a lot of stuff, a lot of material possessions in your home or in your possession that you don't necessarily need to survive. And so if you can sell off those things, so your furniture, for example, there's yard sales, there's Craigslist, there's Facebook buy sell trade pages. You can get rid of a lot of that stuff and take whatever cash value was in those items and put that towards these things that, you may have student loans or other debts that you need to pay off, medical bills or what have you, that are really tying down your finances each month to not allowing you to be financially free. Vehicles is another big expense. I heard a statistic recently that the average household income in America is around $60,000, and the most bought car right now is actually a pickup truck, and it's $30,000. So when you think about that money-wise, that's 50% of your annual income is being, the value of 50% of your income is going towards a vehicle. Well, $30,000 for a vehicle, yeah, it's a great vehicle. It's very nice, very beautiful, beautiful truck, but you can get a very decent car that gets you from point A to point B for a couple $1,000s, not be in debt, not have that monthly car payment, and you have that much more to work with each month. So this kind of brings me to my third and final point, and that is to downsize your standard of living. So this is something you can do no matter what your house situation is. If you are in that situation where you cannot move and downsize your home, this is definitely something you can start right now. Begin doing your research and downsize your standard of living right this second. So this is where budgeting really comes in handy. If you know where each of your budget items are going, so you know exactly how much money you're paying for your cable bill every month, and this bill every month, and this bill every month, you can begin to see kind of where the biggest savings might be able to come from. So for us, when we first got married, we did have cable. And this is something that I think a lot of people look at as a necessity, but if you can live without those things, even for just a season, you can save a ton of money. So we went without cable and instead switched to Netflix and Hulu, and we've kind of alternated. There have been times when we've had both at the same time, but you go from a $100 bill every month to pay for cable to something closer to $20 for both Netflix and Hulu, and you can still watch TV, you can still watch your favorite shows, you can stream a lot of things through those different streaming services, and I know there are others. There's Apple TV and things like that. But switching your focus to, instead of looking at these things as necessities, as ways you can save your family money and set your family up for financial success in the future. One of the examples would be any insurance that you're paying for: car insurance, home insurance, health insurance. If you're not constantly researching and getting quotes for new insurances, you may be paying a lot more than you really need to on those things. One of the other big expenses is cell phones. We depend on our cell phones in our society today. However, there is a huge waste of money if you don't rely on all of the features of a smartphone for your daily living or for your day job. you can cut back drastically on that. So for us, Josh cut back to a very, very simple phone. It is still technically a smartphone, but we didn't, I think we only paid $20 for it. It has a very slow processor. It's not the greatest smartphone out there, but it does the job. So if he gets lost, he can still use the GPS. He can still check his emails if he absolutely has to, but he has to put up with it taking forever to load. We were able to cut our phone plan down from a $70, $80, $90 bill every month to around $30 to $35, I think it is, for both of us to have our phones. And I still have a fairly decent smartphone. So kind of along the lines of what we have decided to do as far as purchasing this farm kind of leads into the last point I'll make about doing without luxuries, and that's food. Here in America, we have every possible fast food. There's restaurants around every corner. It's so easy to just be out and about and think, okay, well, we're out. We don't really have time to fix dinner. Let's just run to McDonald's, or let's run to Subway, or wherever it is that you're going to go. And it's really easy to just shell out that $12 for your meal. And $12 doesn't seem like a lot of money. You think that's super cheap. But that same meal cooked at home only costs a few dollars, $2. So you're multiplying the expense of a meal by a significant amount anytime you eat out. So cutting out eating out is huge. Now, for us, there's a several-fold purpose as to why we want to move to a farm. I really want to move towards cooking all of our own meals, having all of our own supplies, making my own soaps, making my own butter, all of those things. So we're not paying for all of these processed items at the store, and I'm making them at home, teaching my kids the value of hard work and showing them where our food comes from, in addition to saving us huge amounts of money. There's not really a way that I see to practically make a ton of money off of a small farm the size we're going for, but there is a huge potential for us to save massive amounts of money on our monthly budget by me cooking and growing and raising our own food and products that we use every day and making them at home from scratch. And we've really seen the benefits in just a few short years of how quickly you can lower that standard of living, lower those monthly costs, lower each budget item. It's painstaking, it's not easy, it takes work to look through your budget and be on top of it every month. But it is so worth it when you can sit down at the end of the month and look through your finances and see, wow, like we have saved, so much more money. And if you can begin to lower your standard of living to, a fraction of your annual income as a family, you have the opportunity of early retirement down the road. You have the opportunity to stay home with your children and watch them grow instead of having to be at your day job 5, 6, 7 days a week to bring in your family money just to survive, and living paycheck to paycheck and feeling so tied to that job. So I hope those tips and tricks help you out. Please leave comments down below. What are some of your ways that you save money and cut corners for costs? And please like and subscribe as well. I would love to have you come along on this journey with us as we try and find better ways to do things, be more efficient with our money, and better stewards of the many, many things that we've been given. Please stay tuned. I plan to have 2 more videos on this subject of being more financially free. I hope you'll come along with us on that, and we'll see you next time. Bye.